In this session, we are going to discuss about controlled and uncontrolled rectifiers with R loads and derive certain terms like ripple factor, form factor, transformer utilization factor TUF, efficiency, peak inverse voltage, etc. one by one. And we will compare it with controlled rectifier and uncontrolled rectifier. First, I am drawing a diode circuit. So, I have a diode and a resistive load. So, load is R. And we have a source, AC source. And let the value of input, that is source voltage or input voltage, V input, that is equal to Vm sin omega t. And we are assuming the diode is an ideal diode. Let the load be R and load voltage taken across this resistance be the output voltage V0. And by assuming the diode is ideal, during the positive half cycle, the diode is in forward biased condition, and during the negative half cycle, the diode is in reversed biased condition. And by making use of a thyristor circuit, we have a thyristor and a resistive load, and we have an input or source voltage that's same as Vm sin omega t. This is an example for an uncontrolled rectifier, and this is a controlled rectifier. Both these circuits are in forward biased condition during positive half cycle of the input, but the diode will conduct at omega t is equal to 0 itself, and this will conduct only when a firing pulse is available at the gate. So this is a controlled rectifier. This is an uncontrolled rectifier. This will be input for one cycle. Then during the positive half cycle, this diode is in forward bias condition, and we will get the output like this. And that is, the output is same as that of the input. Since there is no voltage drop across the diode, we are assuming diode is an ideal diode. And during the negative half cycle, diode is in reversed bias condition. So the output is equal to 0. That means no current will flow. We can assume the diode as a switch. During the positive half cycle, the switch will close. So the current will flow through the circuit. And during the negative half cycle, the diode is in reversed bias condition. That is equivalent to an open switch. So the switch will open like this. So no current will flow through the diode since it is an open switch. So output voltage, that is output across the resistance, will be 0. Suppose this is our input for a cycle. Let the maximum value of the input be Vm. During the positive half cycle, the diode will conduct. Voltage drop across the diode is 0. We are assuming diode is ideal. So the output voltage is same as that of the input voltage. So this will represent the output voltage. And during negative half cycle, this become an open switch. So no current will flow. So the voltage across the resistance become 0. So this is the nature of the output during one cycle. Since current is in phase with voltage, so the voltage and current waveform will be same, but there is a change in the magnitude. That is equal to V of t by R. That will depend on the value of resistance. It will represent the output voltage, and this will represent the output current. Now what about the voltage across this diode? This is indicated by Vd, that is voltage across diode. Now during the positive half cycle, this is conduct, so that is equivalent to a closed switch. So voltage drop across the diode is equal to 0. So this is will represent the voltage across the diode. And during the negative half cycle, this become open. So what will be the voltage across the diode? Voltage across the diode become this voltage. No current flow. So this is an open switch. So the voltage across the switch is same as that of the input voltage. So this is the voltage across diode. During positive half cycle, that's 0. And during negative half cycle, this is become this negative half cycle. And this voltage is the maximum voltage. That is equal to minus Vm. Peak inverse voltage, that is a voltage across the diode, and whose magnitude is become Vm. For this circuit, we want to find the transformer utilization factor, the ripple factor, the form factor, etc. Okay, that we will derive. Suppose we have a sinusoidal wave. For a rectifier circuit, you get suppose a diode circuit, diode rectifier. So this is the rectified output for one period. Let T be the period of this waveform. This represents omega t, and this is our input waveform, and this will represent our output waveform. So I am representing V input, that is equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay, now we have to define some common terms. What is the average value? So an input will be the same during the positive half cycle, that is omega t is equal to 0 to pi, and from pi to 2 pi the value of the output is 0. Okay, right. Now we can find, so this is a periodic signal. Then for the other half cycle, this will like this, and this will continuous. So we have to find the output value, the average value of output signal, or VDC, or that is equal to V output, or V average value of output. That can be obtained by using this integration 1 by T integral 0 to T V of T, that is output signal with respect to d omega t. So we are integrating with respect to omega t, and our RMS value, that is V RMS value of output signal. So I am indicating O, that represents output. That is equal to, we are taking square of this value 1 by T integral 0 to T V output signal, the square integrating with respect to d omega t, or we can say V RMS, that is equal to 1 by T integral 0 to T V0 square T d omega t, this whole raised to 1 by 2. So I am taking the square root of this value. This is expression for finding the RMS value of the output signal. If you are considering this signal, but the signal is available only to 0 to pi. So our limit of integration becomes 0 to pi. 1 by 2 pi, 0 to pi, Vm sin omega t d omega t. This becomes 1 by 2 pi, 0 to pi, Vm square sin square omega t d omega t. And we are taking the square root of all these terms. Okay, so after t is equal to pi to 2 pi, the value of output is equal to 0. So we will careful about the conduction period. Right. Suppose for a thyristor circuit, we are getting like this waveform. So alpha, we are applying firing pulse at here. So the conduction period change from alpha to pi. Here also alpha to pi. Okay. Then the common term is ripple factor, form utilization factor, etc. So what is our form factor? Form factor we defined as, that is, form factor is equal to the ratio of RMS value to that of the average value, that is VRMS by VDC. VDC is the average value of the output. So this is the definition for form factor. Form factor is equal to VRMS divided by VDC. Okay. Now what is the expression for current? If I draw this figure is for a resistive load, so we can draw the current waveform, that is output current waveform is in phase with output voltage. This is output voltage and this is output current. So both are in phase. So we can find the output current I of t, that is equal to output voltage divided by R. This is for a resistive load. So the maximum value of output voltage, this is here is Vm. So that of for output current, that is equal to Vm. So we can write Vm divided by R. So the maximum value of current, that is equal to Vm by R. If we find the average value of voltage or RMS value of the voltage, then just divided by R, we will get the expression for current, either the average value of current or RMS value of current. Now for input we have both positive and negative half cycle. But for in output we have only the positive half cycle. But we can represent actually a DC by a straight line. This is our average value of DC or V average, that is equal to VDC. This should be a straight line. But our actual output will be like in pulsating in nature. This will be corrected by making use of a capacitor, etc. in the circuit. But actually this is not equivalent to the straight line. So always there is some content of AC present in DC. That is called ripple. So ripple is the content of AC present in the rectifier output. Okay. And we are defining a term ripple factor. Ripple factor, it is defined as the ratio of AC component to that of the DC component in the rectifier output. Ripple factor RF, that is equal to IAC. This is the AC content present in the output divided by IDC, the DC content in the rectifier output. So we can find ripple factor by using this ratio. And now we know that IRMS square, this is equal to IDC square plus IAC square. IRMS is equal to square root of IDC square plus IAC square. From this expression, we can find IAC square, that is equal to IRMS square minus IDC square. Right. This may be in terms of voltage. If we are writing in terms of voltage, then VAC square is equal to VRMS square minus VDC square. Either in terms of current or in terms of voltage. Okay. Now we just write in terms of current. Now we can write ripple factor, that is equal to IAC is equal to square root of IRMS square minus IDC square. Now this divided by IDC, we will get the ripple factor. Now I am taking this IDC term inside the square root. So I can write this is equal to square root of IRMS square by IDC square minus IDC square divided by IDC square. This is equal to square root of IRMS divided by IDC the whole square minus IC square by IDC square, that is equal to 1. This is equal to our ripple factor. Now what is IRMS by IDC? That is equal to form factor. So we can write this is equal to form factor square minus 1, that is equal to ripple factor. So this is the expression for finding ripple factor once we have form factor. Okay. Suppose we have a rectifier circuit. We are using a transformer. Then we have defined another term, transformer utilization factor. Transformer utilization factor of a rectifier circuit is defined as, that is denoted by TUF. That is equal to power DC divided by volt ampere of the secondary terminal of the transformer. That is volt ampere of the secondary terminal of the transformer. PDC is the output power available at the load terminal of the rectifier circuit. And we are assuming load is resistive load. And this is volt ampere, that is the product of voltage and current across the secondary terminal of the transformer. This figure shows a half-wave rectifier circuit with an R load. So this is a controlled rectifier since we are making use of a thyristor here. I am drawing the input waveform. So this is our input waveform, right? Input waveform, that is V input, that is Vm sin omega t. This is against omega t. So this angle is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, and so on. So during the positive half cycle, that is from 0 to pi, the thyristor is in forward biased condition. And during the negative half cycle, from pi to 2 pi, the thyristor is in reversed biased condition. So the thyristor will be conduct during the positive half cycle and it will not conduct during the negative half cycle. Okay. Now the thyristor will conduct only when a firing pulse or triggering pulse is applying at the gate terminal. Okay, now I am applying a triggering pulse at omega t is equal to some angle alpha. Then when omega t is equal to alpha, this thyristor become conduct. So that is equivalent to a closed switch. So thyristor can be replaced by a closed switch, and we are assuming thyristor is an ideal. That means there is no voltage drop across the thyristor while it is in conducting mode. So at omega t is equal to alpha, a firing pulse is available. So the thyristor is replaced by a switch. Okay, so we can construct the circuit like this. So thyristor is equivalent to a closed switch. So our circuit will look like this. So what happens? The current will start flowing through the resistance, and the voltage drop across the switch is 0. So the output voltage is same as that of the input voltage. So at omega t is equal to alpha, what happens? What is the value of output? That is omega t is equal to alpha. The output voltage V0t, that is equal to Vm sin alpha. Okay, so this is the value of output voltage. But up to omega t is equal to alpha, the switch will remains like a open switch. So what happens? Since the switch is open before omega t is equal to alpha, during this duration of time, no current will flow. So what happens? The output is equal to 0. Output is equal to current into the value of resistance. So output will be always 0 before omega t is equal to alpha, that is before applying the triggering pulse. Okay, so at omega t is equal to alpha, I applied a triggering pulse to the gate terminal, and the thyristor is replaced by a closed switch, and the current will pass through the circuit, and we will get output that is exactly equal to the input voltage. So the output voltage from this point is same as that of the input voltage. This resembles this figure like this. So we can draw the output voltage. So starting from this value is Vm sin alpha. Then this is the maximum peak value. So this will goes, and we will get the output like this. So the value of this is Vm sin alpha, and the peak value of the input is Vm. So the peak value of this output voltage, that is also Vm. When omega t is equal to pi, the thyristor become reversed biased condition. That is during the negative half cycle. So the thyristor can be replaced by an open switch. So what happens? No current will flow. So again output is equal to R into 0 current. So that is equal to 0 volt. So during this negative half cycle, output is again become 0. Then again what happens? We are applying a firing pulse at an angle 2 pi plus alpha, this angle. So the thyristor will again start conducting, and we will get the output that is exactly equivalent to that of the input. And negative half cycle during 3 pi to 4 pi, the output will be again 0. Then 4 pi plus alpha, this will again start conducting, and this sequence will goes on continue. So this is the output waveform. Now since this is a resistive load, so current and voltage will be in phase. So what is current? Current is equal to voltage divided by resistance. So we can say output current I of t, that is equal to output voltage V0t divided by R. So the voltage and current will be in phase, but the magnitude will be changed. That will depend upon the value of R. So we can draw the current that is in phase with output. So let this will like this figure. Okay, so this will represent voltage, output voltage, and this will represent output current. Similarly, during this cycle also, this is the current. Right, now look at the circuit. What is this input current? Input current means since up to this portion current is equal to 0. Since the thyristor become a open switch, when alpha to pi, the thyristor is replaced by a closed switch. So input current is same as that of the output current. I input current is same as that of output current in the circuit. Then again during the negative half cycle, current is equal to 0. The thyristor become an open circuit. So input current is equal to 0. So output current is also equal to 0. So we can say input current is same as that of the output current. Okay. Now what about the voltage across the thyristor? During 0 to alpha, the thyristor is open circuit. So what happens? Voltage across this resistance is 0 since no current. So voltage across the thyristor is same as that of the input voltage. So we can apply. So this voltage, input voltage, will appear across the open switch. So input voltage is equivalent to the voltage across the thyristor. So we can draw the voltage across the thyristor. So during omega up when before omega t is equal to alpha, the voltage across the thyristor is same as that of the input voltage, and this will look like this. When this is conducting at omega t is equal to alpha, so the voltage drop is equal to 0. We are assuming thyristor is an ideal. So during alpha to pi, the voltage across the thyristor is 0. When again omega t is equal to pi, the thyristor become open circuit. So voltage across the resistance is 0. So voltage across the thyristor is same as that of the input voltage, that is this voltage. So we can draw the voltage across the thyristor is same as input. This is the voltage across the thyristor. This period is called circuit turn off period of thyristor. That is circuit turn off period. So this is equal to pi. So this is against omega t. So we can represent this period, that is equal to omega tc. Then omega tc is equal to, the value is pi to 2 pi. So the duration is pi. We can say omega tc is equal to pi, or circuit turn off period tc, that is equal to pi divided by omega. This much second in the case of a half-wave rectifier circuit with R load. So this period, the circuit will always remain turn off. Now there is another term, peak inverse voltage, that is peak inverse voltage, PIV. That is a maximum voltage that coming across the thyristor. This is the value of this is minus Vm. So peak inverse voltage of the thyristor, that is equal to Vm. Okay. We have drawn the figure for a single cycle. So this will represent the input Vm sin omega t. This will represent the output, and this is a firing angle alpha. The firing pulse is available at omega t is equal to alpha. Blue graph will represent the output current. That is same as that of the input current. So the maximum value of input is Vm, and maximum value of output voltage is Vm, and the maximum value of output current, that is this value, that is Vm by R. You can find the average value of output, that is output average. This is equal to VDC. Okay, that can be obtained. This is equal to 1 by T integral 0 to T Vm sin omega t integration with respect to d omega t. So this is equal to, period is 1 by 2 pi. Output is available from alpha to pi. So lower limit of integral is alpha and upper limit is equal to pi, and pi to 2 pi the output is equal to 0. So integral alpha to pi Vm sin omega t d omega t. Now we can integrate this. So this is equal to 1 by 2 pi. This Vm is taken outside. So Vm by 2 pi. Integral sign is equal to minus cos omega t. Limit of integration is from alpha to pi. So this is equal to Vm by 2 pi. This minus is taken outside. So this is equal to cos pi minus cos alpha. So this is equal to minus Vm by 2 pi into cos pi, that is minus 1 minus cos alpha. So this is equal to Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So we can write VDC or V average value of output, that is equal to VDC. That is equal to Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos alpha. So from this expression, Vm is constant. So the average value of output will depending only on alpha. If alpha varies, the DC value of output voltage also varies. For in the case of a diode circuit, what happened? Alpha is equal to 0. So the diode will conduct during the complete positive half cycle. Suppose the firing pulse is available at omega t is equal to 0. That is, if alpha is equal to 0, then what happens? This becomes cos 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1. So output voltage VDC is equal to Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus 1. That is equal to 2. So this is equal to Vm by pi. This is the expression for average value of output for a diode rectifier circuit. That is for a half wave diode circuit, that will become Vm by pi. So we can use all the formulas deriving here by putting alpha is equal to 0. Then the expression is same for that of an half wave rectifier diode circuit. That is an uncontrolled rectifier circuit. So for getting the expressions for an uncontrolled rectifier circuit, just put alpha is equal to 0. So when alpha is equal to 0, the average value of a diode half wave rectifier circuit with R load is Vm divided by pi. Okay. And what is IDC? IDC is equal to VDC divided by R. So that is equal to Vm by 2 pi R into 1 plus cos alpha. This is the average value of DC current. Okay. So in the average value of input current is also same as IDC, since I input is equal to I output. Now we can find the expression for RMS value. VRMS, that is equal to, I am taking the square, so that is equal to 1 by 2 pi into integral alpha to pi Vm sin omega t the whole square with respect to d omega t. So this is equal to 1 by 2 pi into integral alpha to pi. We can take Vm square outside, Vm square, and sin square omega t. Sin square omega t is equal to 1 minus cos 2 omega t divided by 2 with respect to d omega t. Now this 2 can be taken outside for integral alpha to pi 1 minus cos 2 omega t. Now integrate this. So this is equal to Vm square, here it is a pi, Vm square by 4 pi into integral 1, that is omega t minus integral cos omega t, that is sin 2 omega t divided by 2. The limit of integration is from alpha to pi, here also from alpha to pi. Now apply the limit of integration. This become, I am writing this here, this is equal to Vm square divided by 4 pi into, this is pi minus alpha, this term, minus become 1 by 2 into sin 2 pi minus sin 2 alpha. Now sin 2 pi is equal to 0 and minus 1 by 2 into minus sin 2 alpha. So this become plus sin 2 alpha by 2. VRMS, that is equal to square root of this term. So that become Vm by 2 into root pi into pi minus alpha plus sin 2 alpha divided by 2. This all raised to 1 by 2. So this is the RMS value of output voltage. And IRMS, current RMS value of output current, that is equal to VRMS divided by R. So this is the value of RMS value of current. So I input current of the DC is DC. So I am writing input as source S, replacing by S. That is the input current. I source DC is same as that of the output, that is IDC. Similarly, RMS value of input current is same as that of the RMS value of output current. So S stands for source current. Input current is same as that of the output current that we have explained. Now the expression for input power factor. Let input power factor be cos phi S. S stands for source. Okay, the power factor of the source side. And we know that V input is equal to Vm sin omega t. So what is the RMS value of input? So we can write the RMS value of input, that is V in RMS value, that is equal to Vm divided by root 2. Then what is the average value of V input? Since V input is a sinusoidal wave, so RMS value of this is Vm by root 2, and the average value of this, that is V average value of input, that is V input average value, that is a DC value of input, that is a DC value of a sinusoidal wave, that is always is equal to 0. That is for a sine wave, the average value is 0. What is source current? Average value of input current, that is same as average value of the output current. So IS, that is source current, the average value. So IS DC, that is same as average value of DC output current, that is VDC by R, or that is equal to Vm divided by 2 pi R into 1 plus cos alpha. Now what is the RMS value of input current? That is I source current RMS, that is same as that of the RMS value of output current, that is equal to V RMS value of output current divided by R. And what is power input? Power input, that is equal to V input RMS value into I input RMS value, IS RMS value into power factor, that is cos phi S in input side. So this is the input power. P input, that is equal to P output. P input is V input side, the RMS value into current, source current into of RMS value into cos phi S, that is equal to output power. That is output value RMS value into IRMS into cos theta. Since output side is a resistive load, so voltage and current is in phase, so power factor is 1, that is cos theta is equal to 1. So VRMS into IRMS into 1. So we can say cos, and we know that RMS value of input current and output current are same, so this term become cancelled. So the input power factor cos phi S, that is equal to VRMS, this is the output side, divided by V input side, the RMS value. So this ratio is the power factor, that is RMS value of output voltage divided by RMS value of input voltage. Or we can define the power factor is, that is cos phi S. This is also is equal to V output side RMS value of voltage into I RMS value of current divided by V input RMS value into source current whose RMS value. This is the what? This is the this into 1. What is this? This is the DC power output. So we can say cos phi S is the, this is DC power output. DC power output divided by, this is VRMS into IRMS for the input side. So that is a volt ampere of input side. So the power factor is the ratio of DC power output divided by volt ampere in the source side. Okay. Or power factor is the ratio of RMS value of output voltage divided by the RMS value of input. The RMS value of input side is Vm by root 2. Now, when alpha is equal to 0, that is firing angle is equal to 0, the controlled rectifier, that is same as that of the uncontrolled rectifier. That means for diode circuit and thyristor circuit, we will get the same output waveform. For that case, we can derive the expressions for ripple factor, form factor, transformer utilization factors, etc. Okay, for special case, when alpha is equal to 0, we have the average value of output, that is VDC That is Vm by 2 pi into 1 plus cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. This 2 and 2 get cancelled. So this is equal to Vm divided by pi. This is equal to 0.318 Vm. And RMS value of output voltage, that is Vrms of the output voltage, that is equal to Vm divided by 2 root pi into pi minus 0 plus sine 0 by 2. Sine 0 is equal to 0. So this plus 0, this all raised to 1 by 2. So we get this is equal to pi raised to 1 by 2, that is root pi. So this root pi and root pi get cancelled. So this is equal to Vm by 2, or this is equal to 0.5 Vm. This is the value of RMS value of output. Okay. This O stands for output. Now what is IRMS? IRMS, that is equal to Vrms divided by R. So that is equal to 0.5 Vm divided by R. So this is the value of RMS value of output current. Now output DC power, that is power DC, that is equal to VDC square by R. V square by R. So what is VDC? VDC is equal to 0.318 Vm. So we can write this is equal to 0.318 Vm the square divided by R. Then PAC, that is equal to Vrms square by R, that is equal to 0.5 Vm the square divided by R. Now we can derive what is efficiency. Efficiency is equal to PDC by PAC. That is equal to term divided by this term. So Vm square by R and Vm square R get cancelled. So this is equal to 3.18 the square divided by 0.5 the square. That is equal to 40.5%. Form factor, that is equal to Vrms divided by VDC. Vrms is 0.5 Vm divided by 0.318 Vm. Vm and Vm it cancel. So this is equal to 1.57 or 157%. This is the form factor. Now a ripple factor, this is equal to root of form factor square minus 1. This is equal to square root of 1.57 the whole square minus 1. That is equal to 1.21. That is equal to 121%. That is the ripple factor. So ripple factor of an half-wave rectifier is very large. That is 121%. Peak inverse voltage of the thyristor circuit. Voltage, maximum voltage coming across the thyristor circuit under non-conducting mode. That is equal to Vm, that we have already explained in the figure. Transformer utilization factor, that is equal to PDC divided by AC rating of the secondary of the transformer, that is Vs into Is. That is equal to PDC is equal to 0.318 Vm square divided by R, and Vs is equal to Vm by root 2. That is a source voltage, RMS value of the source voltage into RMS value of the source current, that is Is. That is equal to 0.5 Vm divided by R. This R and R get cancelled. Vm square and Vm into Vm square cancelled. So this is equal to 0.318 the whole square into root 2 divided by 0.5. 0.286 or 28.6% for an half-wave rectifier circuit with R load. In the next session, we will discuss some problems based on this and also the half-wave rectifier circuit with RL load and RLE load. Okay, thank you. Bye.